Time for us to talk about what is opening this week, brought to you by our friends at AMC Theaters. AMC, amazing. Now, on Tuesday's segment of opening this week, we talked about a couple films opening, but there are two more opening in wide release. Ashley, what's going on?
First up is Crimson Peak. After marrying the charming and seductive Sir Thomas Sharpe, young Edith finds herself swept away to his remote gothic mansion in the English hills. Also living there is Lady Lucille, Thomas's alluring sister and protector of her family's dark secrets. Able to communicate with the dead, Edith tries to decipher the mystery behind the ghostly visions that haunt her new home. As she comes closer to the truth, Edith may learn that true monsters are made of flesh and blood. Next up is the faith-based film Woodlawn. After a government mandate, Tony Nathan, a gifted high school football player, and other African-American students desegregate Woodlawn High School in Birmingham, Alabama in 1973. As cross burnings and riots erupt in the city, Tandy Gerelds, the Woodlawn Colonel football coach, struggles to ease racial tensions between his players. It's only when Gerelds allows Hank, an outsider, to speak to his team that real change begins. Mark, which of these films are you looking forward to this weekend?
I mean, look, you got Sean Astin and John Boyd in a football movie. I really want to go with that, but I would say Crimson Peak. I've seen Crimson Peak, but that's the one. That was actually on my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year in 2015 because it was Del Toro. You know what a visionary genius that guy is. The cast involved, the fact that you're in this creepy haunted house and what kind of tension is going to go on there. I was buying everything about Crimson Peak. Woodlawn might end up making $100 million because it's a faith-based movie opening weekend, but I would have to go with Crimson Peak. Even though I love John Boyd as Bear Bryant and Rudy is in a football movie, I kind of want to see that movie too. I like the storyline, but I got to go Peak.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Crimson Peak. Well, but like you, because it was in my top 10 most anticipated films of the year list, it's Guillermo del Toro. It visually looks stunning. The performers you have in this thing are world class. Looks great. I mean, you know, Woodlawn as a faith-based film, once as we've expressed in the show, is not my cup of tea. But I love the fact that these films are out there for people who are into these films can go and watch, and they've been financially successful. This one is getting a significant release, 1,500 screens it's getting, this one. So keep your eye open for that one. But yeah, Crimson Peak is just one I've been looking forward to for too long.
I think Crimson Peak is also one of those movies that you send people to the theater for how visually stunning it is.
It looks
and
beautiful.
It's a movie that should be seen in theaters, regardless. Because I've seen the movie, and I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but I certainly encourage people to see this movie in the theater because it's not a horror film at all, and people should know that going into it. But it also
there's horror. I mean, come on,
it's not a horror film. I'll argue to you to the death. This is not a horror film at all. Are there scary moments? Sure, but it's not a horror film. It is absolutely more of like a gothic romance throughout. But that being said, Del Toro has built this house. It is a character. The house becomes a character. There are great performances in it. I think that there are people that are going to love it, and I think that people that'll be on Mark and myself, our side of the fence too. But regardless, the movie you should see in the theater.